Yes, ma'am, go ahead. We are live on YouTube now. Yes, ma'am, you can begin the show. We are live on YouTube, ma'am. So you can, yeah, please begin. Meena, ma'am, welcome. Welcome to the show. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
I can't hear the sound. अ, थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ हो गया है बट I can't hear the songs.
आवाज नहीं आ रही है। आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
हाँ, हेलो। आप कह रहे आवाज नहीं आ रही है?
नहीं।
अ, चलिए हम फिर इसकी मैं व्याख्या दे देती हूँ। जो अ, इस पे मैं जो इसके बारे में समझती हूँ या जो जिस तरीके से इसने इस गीत ने मेरे दिल को छुआ, तो मैंने थोड़ा सा इसके बारे में जो लिखा है वह मिला है किसी का झुमका, शैलेंद्र के गीतों की मासूमियत और गहराई का एक उत्कृष्ट उदाहरण है। यह गीत न केवल प्रेम की सरलता को दर्शाता है, बल्कि यह भी दिखाता है कि कैसे छोटे छोटे अनुभव और प्रतीक हमारे जीवन में गहरी भावनाओं को जगा सकते हैं, जो शैलेंद्र की बहुत बड़ी खासियत है। सुबह की ठंडक, ठंडी महक के साथ पेड़ की पत्तियों से ओस की बूंदों का टप टपा कर दरिया के पानी में गिरना और धरा पर एक सुंदर से फूल का मिलना, नायिका के अपने हाथों में उस प्रकृति के गहने को उठाना, निहारना, नायिका की प्रकृति के सौंदर्य का एक अटूट एहसास दिलाता है, जिसकी तुलना जैसे वह अपने अस्तित्व से कर रही हो, अपने स्त्री तत्व से कर रही हो। जैसे प्रकृति रूपी स्त्री का कर्णफूल धरा पे गिर गया हो और उस खनक से सारी कायनात उमड़कर दूर किसी चरवाहे के की बांसुरी की धुन में सिमट कर उस प्रकृति रूपी नायिका की मधुर और थिरकती आवाज बन गई हो, और वह गुनगुनाहट सारी सृष्टि को सुशोभित करने में जुट गई। यहाँ नायिका का अंतरंग संवाद अपनी ही प्रकृति के साथ चल पड़ता है। जैसे हम नेचर विद इन एंड नेचर विदाउट की बात करते हैं, जहां प्यार के हिंडोले में उसके मन रूपी नयन पंख लगाकर खो गए हों, जो अपने जो आने वाले जीवन के सपनों की अनुभूति में जैसे इस पल को, जो एक संपूर्ण पल है, उसे भुला से गए। वही प्रकृति नायिका से जैसे कह रही हो कि जीवन की प्रेम अनुभूति के पलों में खो जाने के लिए, उस हार और जीत के एक पल के लिए जहां सर्वस्व प्रेम पर निछावर हो रहा है, वहीं जैसे जीवन से कुछ परम अनुभूति के पल उसके हाथों से छूट भी रहे। यहाँ एक डायकोटमी है, एक कंट्रास्ट है कि वो चाहती भी है और नहीं भी चाहती है। ऐसे पल जिनमें कोई बंदिश नहीं है, ये आजाद पल। एक हल्की सी दुविधा पर लक्ष्य स्पष्ट है। दुविधा, ये एक बड़ा रेयर कॉम्बिनेशन है कि दुविधा भी है और शी नोज हर अल्टीमेट एम। उसे पता है कि उसे कहाँ जाना है, जो केवल प्रेम के असीम आलिंगन में, प्रकृति की आंगन में गुजारे ये पल जैसे नायिका के गहने बन चुके हों, और इन गहनों से निखरते हुए रूप को लिए वह अपने प्रेमी से मिलन के इंतजार में है। तो ये जो मैंने इस गीत से समझा, मैंने आप लोगों से यहाँ पर साझा किया है। और समय को देखते हुए मैं प्रसन्ना, या क्या मैं दूसरी प्रस्तुति भी आपको दूं, क्योंकि हमारे टाइम काफी हमारा निकल गया ना इंटरनेट की वजह से। तो व्हाट डू यू से रूपाली
You
जी?
carry on, Meena. We would love to hear you.
दूसरा मेरा जो पूरा प्रेजेंटेशन है वो यूट्यूब पे है। आई हैड शेयर्ड इट विद प्रसन्ना। तो अगर इफ यू थिंक, बिकॉज मैं सोची थी कि टाइम आप लोगों का।
नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, आप प्लीज say whatever you know.
ओके
Carry on. Let's hear
ओके
some more. Yeah.
ओके। तो मुझे, क्योंकि वो शेयर स्क्रीन भी ना उस तरीके से, जस्ट गिव मी अ मिनट। तो ये गीत भी फिल्म परख का है, जो 1962 में बनी थी। लता मंगेशकर की आवाज में है, लिरिक्स ऑफ कोर्स शैलेंद्र के हैं, सलील चौधरी का म्यूजिक है, और बिमल रॉय ने इस फिल्म को का निर्देशन दिया था। इसमें मेरा शायद प्रेजेंटेशन पहले आएगा और फिर गीत आएगा। और इसके ऊपर मैंने एक कविता भी लिखी थी जो इसके साथ मेरी दूसरी प्रस्तुति है। प्रचलित कौन, ये नायिका की आंखों में चमकती वह जलती है, जो समर्पण में प्यार का पलों से उभरती, उसकी रमन की आंखें को प्रज्वलित कर देती है।
जीवन के अंधकार के समय उस अगम विश्व जीवन ज्योति से अपने मन के अंधेरे में उस मन के पंखी की ओर से बनाने देते अपने पूर्ण रोशनी के जीवन रेखा सर्वव्यापी प्राप्त है जिसमें सृष्टि के रचयिता ब्रह्मा निवास करते हैं जो कि पृथ्वी के पौधे के रूप है उसके मन आंगन में स्थित के चेहरों में अपने प्रेम रूप होते हैं समर्पित लेखक के लिए अंधेरी और जगन्नाथ चारों नायिका के रोमान के प्रति लिखते हुए रोमान संस्था रोशन यह आशीर्वाद है जो समर्पित के फलों से उठकर उसके रोमान को शक्ति में सिर्फ एक गीत के माध्यम से नायिका को संपूर्ण चरित्र कर्म के प्रसंग में लिखकर के सामने आता है यह गीत बहुत शक्तिशाली है और कलात्मक व्यंगों से भरा है मुझे कुछ शब्दों में बात कर आकार देने चुनौती करनी है यह भाषण का बेहतरीन रूप समाप्त करने लगता है सब कुछ बड़े से उस भाव को समझने के लिए फिल्म और चित्र हासिल करने मेरे सृजनात्मक आवेग को अभिव्यक्त करने में वाणी भी शायद अब अपने पसंदीदा रूप मेरे लिए बात करनी चाहती है इस चित्रण में नायिका के समर्पण से उभरती शक्ति और अधिक विश्वास जीवन के संघर्ष आंतरिक प्रेरणा और वियोग पर विजय पाते हैं इसकी ऊर्जा की झलक नायिका की आंखें में प्रभावशाली यह सब कलात्मक प्रयोगों अंधेरे को उजाले के प्रयोग और शैडो के परस्पर की परस्पर क्रिया के द्वारा प्रदर्शन की और गीत के साथ नायिका के चेहरे और आंखों के भाव दृश्य को और भी अधिक अपनी नॉलेज का शक्तिशाली रूप से दर्शक देखें मदद
हेलो, आवाज नहीं आ रही। आवाज आ नहीं रही।
हाँ नानी कोई आवाज है ही नहीं।
आवाज नहीं आ रही है, या मुझे अकेली कोई नहीं आ रही है, या आप सभी को आवाज आ रही है? प्लीज कोई बोलेगा?
Ma'am, it's not audible, ma'am.
हाँ,
Ma'am, I think like you can give your
okay.
presentation like whatever you want to say. Just mere time waste, time of waste. आप जो भी टिप्पणी देना चाहते हो उसको दे दीजिए.
Has Meena Chopra's presentation ended? Hello? Meena, has your presentation ended?
I have ended it because people are saying that I
It's not
heard
audible, ma'am.
it's not
not-
audible. तो
Yeah,
सारा ही ऑडिबल नहीं था क्या?
हाँ,
कुछ भी audible नहीं था, ma'am.
कुछ भी ऑडिबल नहीं था तो
नहीं.
I hope YouTube is not stopping it now. We have to check it later.
Okay,
I'll talk to you later about this.
okay. So we have you
So
in
just
the
forget
next
it.
program.
I think it's better to continue. आप अपना program continue रखें.
हाँ,
So
और-
we can enjoy
और,
other. Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you. But you are invited for the next program because we could not hear you. We're not
That's
going to
okay.
go back.
We'll talk.
We are not going to go back frustrated. I was so frustrated not able to hear the sound.
I'll have to work with Prasanna on this, and
Okay.
after that only. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Separately,
Sure.
we'll work on this, and
Okay, so-
then present it.
So we go to our next poet. This is Mr. Lakshman Rao. He's a poet, publisher, entrepreneur, and a scriptwriter. Multilingual, he speaks English, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, and Malayalam. He has been writing poetry for the last 2 decades. A classicist by choice and a modernist by mind, he weaves poetry with equal ease. He has recited poems in many Bangalore poetry festivals and has published poems in Poets International magazine and other international Facebook forums. Published his poetic debut as The World Within and translated his related friends' Telugu collection of poems as The Secret Scriptures of Life. He brought in a self-publishing house as Versa Smith Publishers. He is an avid reader and an intense writer. And in his ideology towards poetry is poetry by itself, wherein most of his poems move around the poet's mindset. Today he will talk to us about Annamaya. So please go ahead with your presentation. I'm sorry on behalf of Prasanna also that this is the first time this has happened because this program of ours goes off very smoothly. So, but we will listen to you again also. So, Lakshman Raoji, make your presentation.
धन्यवाद मैम. लेकिन आपको कितना टाइम है? How much do you have time?
15 minutes you have?
We have 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. See, like, well then, well, this is Lakshman Rao from Bangalore. So I'm not visible on the screen, ma'am.
No, you are?
No, it's totally blank here.
I can see you.
You see me, but here on the screen, it's nothing visible.
But you are visible, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
okay.
okay.
So that.
Ma'am, in fact, like, I thought of bringing, or it's not like introducing Annamaya, okay, because Annamacharya is synonymous with Lord Balaji, Lord Venkateshwara Srinivasa, whom we know in Lord at Tirupati Tirumala Hills. So he is the priest. He is the priest as the poet. He is a mystical saint who wrote, say, about 32,000 kirtanas in the worship of Lord Balaji. 32,000 kirtanas. Kirtanas in the sense like a lyrical verse in the praise of Lord. And these verses, whatever he used to write, he used to sing it and he used to write it. And in those days, in the 15th century, he used to write it on the palm leaves. So there wasn't any editing or any correction whatsoever. And whatever he used to write, he used to sing it. And later on, like most of the kings, they found this work and they tried to encapture it in the copper plates. So as per official records, he has written 32,000 kirtanas. And most of his kirtanas, and almost all the 32,000 kirtanas, they had to be sung in a certain tune. And as you know, like Indian classical music has say about 1,000 ragas. And he used to mention in which raga these songs has to be sung. So this was the complexity and this was the highly acclaimed poet of that time and even this time in Telugu. Telugu, which is, although is not a widely spoken language, in South India it's a better known, very well known language. Well, when it comes to Annamaya, it's called as Annamacharya. Acharya. Acharya in the sense, a saint, a priest, a philosopher, a teacher. So that's how we got Annamacharya. So now, how is he getting connected to Lord Balaji? So at the age of 16 itself, he went to Tirumala Hills. So by the time he reached Tirumala Hills, he wrote say about 100 poems, 100 kirtanas in the praise of Lord Balaji. That's how he was divinely gifted, Sri Annamacharya. So as I said, like, so let's get into his divine poetry. Or I'll just give brief here once again. Lord Venkateshwara is the another name for Hindu Trinity God Vishnu, as is the pivotal god in the Kali, who made his presence in the Tirupati Tirumala Hills. The whole mountain of 7 hills is a bed laid by Shesha the snake. The Garuda eagle is vehicle. The mountain even today has features of Lord Venkateshwara. We can find Garuda shaped out in one of the mountain and the whole mountain in its world snake shape. That's a brief holy history of mountain Sheshadri, which is in Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanas. So let's get into his divine poetry. He says, see, all of his lyrics or verses are sung, so we are known by his songs. Adivo alladivo Sri Harivasamu Parivela Sheshula Padagamayamu Adivo alladivo Sri Harivasamu. He says that, look, that's there Sri Vishnu's abode, where he resides on his bed of 10,000 snakeheads. Ade Venkatachalam Akilo Natamu Adivo Brahmadula Kapu. He says that he is the highest and sacred mountain peak of all. That's where, even for the divine deities, it's the rarest of the rare to find. So he tries to bring in the divine factor into that mountain. Before we could enter into the temple and the sanctum and the shrine, we are trying to say about what exactly the Tirumala Hills are all. So here, in another song, it says like this. So there are many songs of the mountains itself where it describes each and every nuances in detail. In another song, it describes Ade chudu tiru venkatadri nalubigumulandu velugondu pravavinchekanu Adi chudu tiru venkatadri. He says, see this Tiru Venkatadri, which is the abode of Lord Vishnu for the last 4 yugas, which is spreading its knowledge of light and spiritual wisdom. That's how, in these songs, he particularly describes about Tirupati, a small town of 15th century, what exactly, how a religious cultural hub it was. Tirupati in the 15th century. If you go into the entire detailing of that poem, actually, we will get a historical facts of how kings had a small establishments at that point of time, around in and around Tirupati. That was one thing. And again, coming to the mountain again, he says, కొండలలో నెలకొన్న కోనేటి రాయడువాడు కొండలంత వరములు గుప్పెడువాడు కొండలలో నెలకొన్న కోడి తీరాయుడు వాడు. He says that, look at the Lord who dwells in the pond amidst the mountains. He is the mountain full of boon and blessings, while just a handful of worship. If you just want to worship him, you can just pray him. But he's the boon and blessing in the form of big mountain, is what he says. With the divine blessings of Lord Balaji or Venkateshwar Swami, was divinely gifted in composing lyrical poems of 32,000, about 1,000 ragas which he has sung and which he has wrote. And that's how the songs are complex to comprehend and to apprehend. Now let's see how he sees the Lord coming into the temple. కంటి శుక్రవారము గడియలేడి కంటి అల్మేల్ మంగ అండనుండే స్వామి కంటి. See, kanti in the sense like he is dreaming or he is vision. He visualizes. It's not like he has dreamt, he had a dream. It says in this verse, he says like he has envisioned Lord Venkateshwar on Friday 7 o'clock, along with his consort Almel Manga, who is besides the Lord inseparable. So all this, so that's one thing. And the other, this one favorite song of mine here. అంతయు నీవే హరి పుండరీకాక్ష చింతనకు నీవే శ్రీ రఘురామ. అంతయు నీవే హరి పుండరీకాక్ష. He says like, oh lotus-eyed Hari, you are everything as in omniscience. Oh Sri Raghuram, you are the only one close to me. కులములు నీవే గోవిందుడా, నా కలిమియు నీవే కరుణానిధి. Oh Lord, my caste is yours and my occupation is that of yours. You are an ocean of compassion, O bearer of this earth. You are my abode and my thought. Yeah, what is this? He is like here, like कुल जो होता था, the caste जो होता था, like it was based on his occupation, and whatever his occupation was to write. So he used to say like, my occupation is my caste and my worship towards you is my caste. So that's how intertwined his writings are. Here he says about Lakshmi Devi, the Padmavati or Almel Manga. He says, ఏమని పొగడుదు మేకనిను ఆమని సొబగుల అలమేల్ మంగా. He says, how would we praise thee beyond this, the one who is with beautiful colors of the dawn, early dawn, O Almel Manga. We have to observe this alliteration, the rhyme and the rhythm. That's the beauty and the charm that he brings to his poetry. Amani Sobagula Almel Manga. If you see the alliteration, the internal rhyme scheme, that's beyond describable. It's not that easy for any poet to bring in this sort of moods. In fact, I would like to stress on one aspect, very like today we are listening about the Bollywood music and the Bollywood duets. Rupali ma'am, you just imagine in the 5th century, he has written duets on Lord Balaji and Padmavati. Yes, honestly, I have listened to many of the reports wherein like Lord Balaji speaks to Padmavati and Padmavati Amavaru speaks to Lord Balaji, and in a duet form in the 15th century. I believe like he was one of the first composer who brought in these duets. I think he was one person who started it. So he is not a mere poet when it comes to when we bring in terms of Shakespeare, Keats, or Wordsworth, whomsoever it is. We just can't bring in Annamaya there and try to fit in. He is beyond anybody. He is not merely to say a poet. He is saint. He is a saint beyond a saint. He was in synonymous with Lord Balaji. If you go to Tirumala Hills, you see like Annamaya, his songs being sung everywhere. So that's how it is. And coming to another song, Vinaro Bhagyamu Vishnu Kada Venubalamidi Ho Vishnu Kada. He says like, listen to Lord Vishnu's story. That's your blessing. You want to listen to Lord Vishnu's story, it's a blessing. That is what he says. And that's the strength as in your backbone. So listen to Lord Vishnu's story. This is what he describes here. Thus he describes Lord Vishnu in many varied use. There's another fabulous song, ma'am. These are all songs, ma'am. Like here he says, Rajiva Netraya Raghavaya Namo Saujanya Nilayaya Janakishaya Rajiva Netraya Raghavaya Namo. He says, Lord of beautiful eyes, O Lord Ram, body with a beautiful grace, O Janaki's Lord Ram. So he brings in all the mythological folklore, mythological aspects, and he tries to intertwine into Lord Balaji. And at the final end, at the last end, he says like all Lord Ram and Lord Krishna are both Venkateshwara, the Vishnu Roop of Kalinga. This is how he brings and culminates at the end. In each and every poem of his, this is how he does. That's the beauty and the greatness of this poet, man. And the beauty of language is beyond describable. The sweetness of his lyrics are like honey laced. His voices in his verses luscious, lofty, and lovable. The exemplary figurative speech is far beyond comprehensible. He divinely connected and spiritually intertwined. That's all I can say. And in the coming year, he says in one of the songs, Antaryami alasiti solachiti intatani sharanide jochitini. Ma'am, it was at the fag end of his life. He said like Antaryami, the one who resides inside, Antaryami, O Venkateshwara, the omnipresent and the ubiquitous being. I have had enough of this worldly life. I am tired, swooning and collapsing. Let me have your solace. I beg protection under your shelter. Here he says like he wants to surrender himself at the fag end of his life. So he wants to surrender himself in form of in a divinely form. So that's one thing. And at the last stage of his career, at the end, ma'am, what happened is like he had a darshan of Lord Balaji in front of him. He had a Lord Balaji's darshan by himself, wherein he brought in all his scriptures unto him. And he said, like, he put it on his feet, Lord Balaji's feet, and he said, Tachuko mi padalaku tagame chesina puchilivi puchi ni kirtarupamu pushpamu ivenaya tachu. All that he says is, Lord, I place all my creations at your feet, store and preserve, as it's my promise that all your floral representations, one kirtana is enough to save me and all others that you can store in your locker, sort of thing. So that's how he brought in, even in his film, we can see like how he culminates into Lord Balaji's Vishnu Kadgam, that's been represented. And I think like I don't think there is any such poet in the world who has such a huge collection of writing with varied themes and meanings. Like if you take spirituality, philosophy, sensuality, eroticness, and the some thought-provoking concepts, 32,000 poems in the sense is not a small thing. And I came to know like by the time he reached the mountain, he wrote about 100 poems. Is that a small thing? All that you can climb to the mountains, it will take 2 hours. And within 2 hours, he was capable of writing some 100 poems. So that's how he was divinely gifted, Sri Annamacharya. So thanks you for giving me an opportunity to speak about Annamacharya, a great saint whom I'm blessed to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lakshman Rao-ji. I must say this is one of the best presentations I've heard in a long time, because you have sung all this, the poems and the songs of devotion. And it's very interesting to me that this evening has been, all the poems have been on love. you know.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
missed
Ma'am, I
out some
request
of
you
his
to, I request you
starting.
to listen to his songs, ma'am. Even though it's in English, in Telugu, I request you to listen to his songs. I came to know like there's one doctor who goes to operation theater, putting his songs, and he goes to do the operation, and he sees to that like once his operation is done, the songs are cut off. So that's
Starting,
how, yeah.
starting with Sujata Paul, who recited poems from Sunil Gangopadhyay. The first song was Bhalobashi, Bhalobashi, Bhalobashi.
Yeah.
No matter whatever the Bhalobashi means, I love you. You know,
Yeah.
the first presentation was about love. And then I think, Meena, your songs and Shailendra's songs are all full of love. It's a pity that we couldn't hear most of it, but we've all heard it many times. And what we read, what we saw on the screen, and now this this wonderful divine love between Balaji. And it's interesting that the first duet between
Yes,
in poetry that you mentioned, it's an interesting thing. And
that's true, ma'am.
there's something about our culture which is
Yeah,
actually deeply in
rooted.
in love. We're a nation in love, somewhere deep inside, and even our gods, they all, you hear the Geet Govinda, you hear any of these spiritual songs, and deep inside, I think you'll all agree that ultimately the physical love is transcended by the spiritual love, and that is what we seek. That is actually what we seek when we are disappointed in love, because we are disappointed because the spiritual aspect is missing in that. So we go to our next presenter, who is a professor from Mumbai University, and Shamala, Dr. Shamala. And is she here? Or she's been waiting for a long time and I can't see her. Dr. Shamala, are you there? She's a poet, Marathi poet. I don't have her bio because, somehow it didn't reach me. Today has been pretty difficult. Can you see her, any of you? Prasanna? I think everybody seems to have vanished today to thin air. So, is there something you'd like to say, Meena, about Shailendra? You can tell us, even, some of the songs. Maybe you can hum it, one of the songs for us.
I am a very bad singer, not even a bathroom singer. So otherwise I would have loved to do it, but
Ma'am, even I'm not a singer, ma'am. So just a matter of fact that I just recited whatever I have listened. Simple.
not there even. So, but Shailendra, of course, has been my favorite, and he has contributed a lot of contribution to the nation rather. And these all these love poems also, Rupali ji, they are very transcending. They
Yes,
go beyond that. Bhakti bhav hai unme.
bilkul.
और फिर poetry is not only limited to words, like even the picturization is so subtle, and especially Bimal Roy जिस तरीके से
Exactly.
उनके
We grew up with Vimal Roy's cinema,
yeah,
and these songs.
so subtle, just picking up that flower from the ground and it becomes a jhumka.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that nature kind of it merges with the personality of that woman, or at the gross level, and then it is kind of transcending with love. तो और कैसे वो चरवाहे की धुन से वो उसके जो Sadhna has done very well in the
Yes.
picturization of the song.
Is it
वो
Parak, no? What's the
हाँ,
film? Parak, is this the film?
Parak.
Yes.
It's I mean it's worth seeing again and
Yeah,
again.
I've seen it.
तो
Very, very
चरवाहे बांसुरी बजा के जा रहा है और वहीं से उसके she gets inspiration to kind of hum, and from humming that song's built. So it's beautiful.
I loved the poem that Sujata recited at the end, where, you know, the unrequited desires of a child, you know, he says people never keep their promises, which is true. We tell children, "Hum tumhe wahan leke jayenge," and then we never do. We promise so many things, and then you grow up, and those things are no longer valid at all, you know. And this evening has been, you know, disturbed by this internet, but we managed to still, you know, somebody in Bangalore and, you know, Srikakulam and in Tripura, and I'm in Noida today, and you're in Canada, and, you know, we have somebody from Mumbai, but I don't know where she disappeared. She was here all this while. She must have got tired waiting. So we shall end this program then, if she's not there. And we hope that we, you know, are in a better circumstances with our internet and stuff. After the month of August, I think things will be better because it's raining heavily in various parts of the
That
country,
could be
you
one
know.
of the
Yeah, that's the reason. So thank you so much. It's been really lovely, and, you know, Prasanna, you know, must have felt
was-
very, very frustrated because he's so good at presenting this program.
Yes.
You know, he's the main host, and we curated this, and we were so keen to hear you, all which we did. And वो झलक जो है वो मिल गया है, हमें आगे पढ़ना है, इनको आगे सुनना है, दोबारा सुनना है. You know, that is how it is. So this is, we were,
Very
you know,
important.
forgetting, you know, we were getting so involved with our own poetry. Then somewhere I said, Prasanna, what's happening to all the great poets? हम तो भूल ही गए इनको. You know, let's talk about them, you know, let's talk about them. And today, I leave this program always very learned, a very learned person. So thank you so much. And we hope to meet again, you know, in better conditions. And but thank you so much for still allowing us to struggle through it, you know. And it was difficult, I know, for all of you. But thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Thank you all, ma'am.
Thank you so much.